Now lean across. Get you on this side. Now this hand's got to come off, Sandra.
Okay.
Right.
Don't worry, we've got you, Sam.
This is a very patient horse.
Yeah. Well, you've got to.
Okay, well done.
Right.
Sit up
Take your
when you-
time, Sandra.
Just take your time.
Take
sit
your
up.
time.
Yeah, it wasn't so difficult, was it?
And then wriggle forward into the centre of. See if you can stand up in your stirrup.
No, I can't.
You can't.
Because of...
That's it.
Yes, you can. There's not words can't.
So you can do better than you thought.
I know. I haven't been on a horse for so long.
Okay.
But it feels wonderful.
You want to just sit there?
Sorry.
You're going to have to.
Oh, no,
Feels so wobbly up here. I know I look quite straight, but I feel so lopsided.
被験者は気分が高まりすぎることなく効果が出せるちょうど良い分量を自分で探すようにと言われます。しかしまた馬に乗れるようになったこの出来事はサンドラさんをかなり興奮させたようです。
Oh God!
Well
that
done.
was
Well done.
Oh,
Brilliant.
oh, I was going to say, oh God,
Okay.
I feel shattered. But very, very pleased. It's lovely. Before I took the cannabis, I couldn't even have considered getting on a horse because just the actual act of getting my leg over, it would have been impossible.
Of course you'd have been shaking.
Yes.
Because you don't know it's cannabis you've been taking, do you? Because it's still on the trial.
I know, because it could be the placebo, but I don't think
Could
it
have
is.
been nothing. Could
Yes,
have been the placebo.
it could have been.
その後こんな告白がありました。
Well, the first phase I particularly was very naughty. I overdosed on it.
You mean you
This-
took too much? Or
Yes.
More than
Yes.
they said?
Yes. Not more than they said, because I can take up to 48 squirts a day.
But more than you felt comfortable with.
Yes.
So what happened?
I went very dizzy and very disorientated, and I didn't feel quite with it at all.
Was that pleasant or alarming?
No, it was alarming.
Didn't like it?
No.
You were feeling high?
Yes. Totally.
Sometimes if I'm really sore and I've done too much work, I'll have 3 or 4 extra sprays, and that knocks me out. That really knocks me out.
But don't you ever want to get high?
No. I used to get high when I was recreational uses. That was for just a bit of fun. But no, I'm quite happy with my life the way it is. I just want rid of the pain and have a normal life.
Is it quite difficult to get to a dose where you can get the pain relief and not get the high? Does that require...
It was at the beginning. It was at the beginning. But now we're learning how to control this by taking the level we are used to.
Come on
Hi,
in.
Doc.
Hiya.
How are you?
How you doing, all right?
Fine, great.
I think there are 2 issues here. Firstly, if somebody is immobilised and unable to do things because of chronic pain, it is of no benefit to them to move to a state of being high, out of this world, whatever it is. The second issue is that there seems to be some sort of puritanism about the high from cannabis. And you have to ask yourself why. Here is somebody whose life is miserable. It is a miserable life. They're commonly depressed. If cannabis were to give them just a little, make them a little bit happier, a little bit mellow, so they can relax more, so that life becomes a bit pleasanter, who are you or I to deny them that? After all, we widely use antidepressants, we use drugs like Prozac at the drop of a hat, which are mood-altering, mood-enhancing drugs. Why should cannabis be any different?
大麻が治療に役立ったとしても健康な人が大麻を使うことについてはまだ賛否が分かれています。政府や臨床試験を行っている製薬会社は医療用大麻とそれ以外をはっきり区別しようとしています。
Do you believe it's possible to draw a line between the medicinal and the recreational use of cannabis?
I believe that it's possible to draw a line, but it's a kind of fat, fuzzy line because there's a lot of conflation. For example, a person comes home from work and as a way of relieving stress, and doing it very effectively with a few pus of a joint, I'm all for that. I, as a physician, am for that because stress is not good for one.
しかし一方で別の目的で大麻を大量に使った人が病院にあふれていると指摘する医師もいます。
I think most people can smoke cannabis and they don't get into great difficulties. But as a psychiatrist, what I see are the people who do get into difficulties, people who've smoked heavily for a number of years, begin to become more paranoid, more anxious, more suspicious. Then they begin to get deluded and hallucinated. And they really present to us with a picture that looks just like paranoid schizophrenia. So we have lots and lots of patients. My clinics, my units in this hospital are full of people who have gone psychotic following taking large amounts of cannabis. Now, if they then stop taking the cannabis, then they pretty well recover, and they do really well. If they continue taking the drug, then they do very badly and end up as a chronic psychotic person.
Do you have any concerns about what might happen long term to the people in these trials?
My concerns are not so much for the patients, because if they are having help and it's working, that's marvellous, and I hope no one would stop that happening. My concerns are how those data are interpreted. If people think this is giving them a green light to just go and get high indiscriminately, I am very concerned, and I hope that enough floor space is given, if you like, forum space is given to actually ventilate the scientific arguments for and against, so that we can really draw a clear distinction between a medicine and a drug of abuse.
夏の真っ盛り、サンドラさんの臨床試験が終わりに近づいてきました。自分に合った分量を使えるようになり、はっきりした効果も出ているようです。
You had trouble picking up the lighter on the table before.
Yeah.
Is that something you could manage now?
Well, it most probably is.
And you can hold it still.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. You simply couldn't do that before,
No.
could you? And you can take it back
Yeah,
and put it down.
yeah.
And that really is new.
That's marvellous. That makes me feel so normal.
この日サンドラさんは医師の元を訪れました。どの種類の薬がいつ使われていたのかはサンドラさんにはまだ伝えられていません。
Sandra, hello. We meet at last.
Yes, at last. I was going to say. Okay.
So, how's it been going?
Well, I feel so much better than I have done for months and months and months.
Oh, that's incredible. So now
サンドラさんが使った4種類の薬のうち3種類にはさまざまな処方で大麻の成分が配合されていましたが、残りの一つは水でした。
So period 4 you thought was the treatment that was best for you?
I now think it is better for me than 3 or 2 or 1.
Okay, well the period 4 was in fact the high THC
What's
version.
what?
The period when you were taking a huge number of sprays turns out to be placebo.
But I kept telling you not to get stressed out about it. It will be okay.
How typical is Sandra?
I think she's very typical in the sense that all of the patients have been very severely handicapped by the symptoms of the disorder, which is usually multiple sclerosis. And it's been striking that most people have had a positive response. I mean, if you took that 20 patients that we've initially seen, perhaps 2 or 3 would not have been helped because they'd have been too sensitive to the effects of THC, in other words, getting intoxicated before they got effects. Another 14 would be given at least some significant clinical relief of at least one symptom which had been previously intractable with standard therapy. And then 2 or 3 patients would have experienced symptom relief which really goes beyond that, in fact, might reach the level which would transform their lives. That's striking.
しかし一つ問題があります。臨床試験によくあることですが、偽薬を使っても調子が良くなる被験者がいるのです。サンドラさんが乗馬に挑戦した時も実は大麻を服用して